Chapter 3. Challenging Materialism. The limits of a physical worldview. Materialism is the bedrock of our modern worldview, a lens through which we've built much of our understanding of the universe. Picture a vast, cosmic machine, ticking away with precision, stars forming from clouds of gas, planets orbiting in predictable paths, life emerging from chemical reactions. Materialism tells us that everything, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, is made of physical stuff. Atoms, molecules, energy, all governed by the laws of physics. In this view, your consciousness, the thoughts you're thinking right now, the emotions swirling in your chest, the sensation of the air on your skin is just a byproduct of your brain's activity. Neurons fire, chemicals like dopamine and serotonin flow, and somehow, out of this physical dance, your mind emerges. It's a tidy story, one that's driven incredible scientific progress, from curing diseases to landing rovers on Mars. But when it comes to the mystery of consciousness, materialism stumbles, leaving us with a gap that it can't bridge. Let's dig into this gap, often called the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers in the 1990s. Materialism can explain a lot about how the brain works. It can map the neural activity when you see a vibrant sunset, hear a haunting melody, or feel a surge of joy. Scientists can point to specific regions of the brain, like the visual cortex or the amygdala, and show how they light up during these experiences. They can even manipulate those experiences, using drugs or stimulation to alter your mood or perception. But here's where materialism hits a wall. It can't explain why those physical processes feel like anything at all. Why does a certain pattern of neurons create the experience of seeing orange rather than blue, or no experience at all? Why does consciousness exist in the first place, instead of the universe just being a collection of unfeeling particles? Imagine watching a sunset, the sky ablaze with hues of orange, pink, and gold. You're not just processing light waves, your brain is doing that, sure, but you're also feeling something. There's a warmth, a sense of awe, a quiet wonder that washes over you as the sun dips below the horizon. These are qualia, the subjective what it's like of experience, the raw, felt quality of being conscious. Materialism can describe the mechanics, how light hits your retina, how signals travel to your brain, how neurons fire in response, but it can't explain why those mechanics result in the feeling of awe. It's like knowing every detail about a car's engine but not understanding why it moves. The hard problem isn't just a philosophical puzzle, it's a fundamental challenge to the materialist worldview, a crack in its foundation that idealism seeks to address. This limitation of materialism opens the door to a different way of thinking. What if consciousness isn't a byproduct of the physical world? What if the physical world is a byproduct of consciousness? Idealism flips the materialist story on its head, suggesting that reality isn't a machine made of matter but a dream made of mind. In this view, the sunset you're watching isn't a physical event happening out there, it's a mental event, a perception within a universal consciousness that you're experiencing. The orange light, the feeling of awe, the quiet beauty, they're not produced by your brain. They're part of the fabric of consciousness itself, woven into the very nature of reality. This perspective doesn't just point out materialism's flaws, it offers a more coherent alternative, one that places consciousness at the center of existence. The hard problem isn't the only issue with materialism. It also struggles with the question of meaning. If we're just biological machines in a random universe, what's the point of it all? Materialism often leaves us with a sense of existential emptiness, a feeling that life is a cosmic accident with no deeper purpose. Idealism, on the other hand, suggests that consciousness is the foundation of everything and that our individual minds are part of a greater whole. This view can inspire a sense of wonder and connection, offering a framework where the mysteries of consciousness aren't problems to solve but truths to embrace. As we explore this chapter, we'll see how idealism challenges materialism's dominance, inviting us to rethink the nature of reality and our place within it. The hard problem explored. Let's dive deeper into the hard problem of consciousness with a thought experiment I've created to bring this challenge to life, a scenario I call Clara's first color. Imagine a scientist named Clara, a brilliant neuroscientist who has dedicated her life to studying the physics and biology of color perception. Picture her in her lab, surrounded by charts, brain scans, and computer screens, her desk cluttered with books on optics and neuroscience. Clara knows everything there is to know about how color works. She can tell you the exact wavelength of light that corresponds to red, around 620 to 750 nanometers, and how that light interacts with the cones in your retina. She can map the neural pathways that carry those signals to the visual cortex, and she can even predict how certain brain injuries might alter color perception. She's a master of her field, a walking encyclopedia of facts about color. But there is one thing Clara has never experienced. She's colorblind, living in a world of black, white, and gray. Since birth, she's been unable to see colors, a condition that's shaped her life and her work. She's read descriptions of color poets waxing lyrical about the fiery red of a sunset, the cool blue of the ocean, but to her, these are just words, abstract concepts she can't fully grasp. Her world is a monochrome canvas, and while she understands color in theory, she's never felt what it's like to see it. Her colleagues talk about the vibrancy of a flower garden, the warmth of a golden sunrise, but for Clara, these are mysteries she can only imagine, like a blind person trying to understand a rainbow. One day, Clara undergoes an experimental procedure that restores her ability to see color. She steps outside the hospital, her heart pounding with anticipation, and looks up at the sky for the first time with her new vision. The moment she sees the blue of the sky, something extraordinary happens. It's not just that she sees a new shade, she experiences blueness, the raw, felt quality of the color blue. The sky isn't just a wavelength of light anymore, it's a sensation, a vivid, living experience that fills her with wonder. She gasps, tears welling in her eyes as the blue stretches out before her, endless and alive. In that moment, Clara gains something she couldn't have derived from all her years of study, the qualia of blue, the subjective what it's like to see color. No amount of data, no brain scan, no equation could have prepared her for this. It's a new kind of knowledge, one that exists beyond the physical facts she spent her life mastering. This thought experiment highlights the hard problem of consciousness in a way that's both vivid and personal. Materialism can explain the physical processes of Clara's experience, the light,